We are live for another edition of DFS by Cage. Of course, I'm your host, Cage. This is episode 33. I'm here to break down my DFS DraftKings lineup for UFC Vegas 58, which is headlined by a lightweight top 10 matchup between Armand Sarukin versus, of course, Matus Gamrot. We got two top 10 lightweights ready to get it going to see who can get one step closer to that lightweight championship matchup against the champion. Of course, once again, this is Cage My IQ. If you haven't done so already, please follow and subscribe to us on social media. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You see right here on YouTube. Look down below if you haven't done so already. Hit the subscribe button and then also the notification bell so you guys get all the other content that gets put out right when it gets put out right away. And then please do us a favor, help us get through the algorithm, and please smash the like button down below on this video, and then give us your comments in the comment section to the right. We want to know your opinions on my six-fighter lineup and then who you're going to use for your DraftKings lineup for this Saturday for UFC Vegas 58. And then, of course, we now have a Cash App now. So if you're in the need and you want to donate to us to support the show, we're on Cash App. The Cash App name is $DanielBakley. That's my name. Any donations to the show are much appreciated. We put a lot of work into the show to give you guys all the info and to help you guys out with betting and for DraftKings and lineup. So once again, Cash App, $DanielBakley. And then right before we get going with my lineup, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, High Tide Herbal. You see the promo code down below. We have a promo going with them. And all you got to do is go to hightideherbal.com. Put in the promo code CageMyIQ10 at checkout to receive 10% off your next purchase. Of course, now we're going to get to my six-fighter lineup. Of course, the six fighters, you got $50,000 salary to use to spend on your six fighters for UFC Vegas 58. I'm going to start the lowest and work my way to the highest. I'm going to give you guys the names first, and I'm going to break down them afterwards, like I always do. We did a really good job last week. We had a very nice lineup all through and through. I was very happy with what we did. We hit with both of our dogs. We hit with our favorites. We even hit with the mid picks. So that was one of our really good weeks. Let's keep the ball rolling. And let's get it done for a second week in a row. Keep the hot streak going, as they would say. But the first person we're going to use in a lineup is Chistos Giagos right there. And nickname is the Spartan. His salary is $7,200. He's going to be going up against Thiago Moises. And so we're picking him right there. The second fighter in a lineup is my wild card right here. This is the chance pick that I'm taking with. I'm going with Shaylin Nordenbiecki. His nickname is the Wolverine. His salary is $7,300. He is going to be going up against TJ Brown. Next in the lineup, if we scroll down here, I'm going with Carlos Alberg. His nickname is Black Jag. His salary is $8,300. He's going up against Tapin and Chukwi. Select them right there. Then we're going with Chris Curtis. His salary is $8,600. His nickname is the Action Man. His opponent going this Saturday is Rodolfo Vieira. Select them right there. The next one we're going with is, of course, Armand Sarukin. He's one half of the main event. His nickname is Helgalactics. It's a long, hard nickname to say. His salary is $9,100. He's going up against Matus Gamrot. And of course, last but not least, we even got 9,500, which is a perfect amount for our last fighter in our lineup. Just enough. Umar Nurmagomedov. He has no nickname. His salary is perfectly 9,500, and he's going up against Nate Menez right there. So that's our lineup right there. Let's get started with the first guy here. This is one of my locks of the week, in my opinion. We got the underdog, Chistos Giagos, aka Spartan. He's going up against Thiago Moises in this matchup in the lightweight division. He's 19-9 with a 57.9 FPPF going into this matchup. And what I like about this matchup with him is, if you see right there, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. And even in one of those losses against Close, he put in a lot of strikes. He had 2 takedowns. If you take away the bloody performance against Sarukin, where he just got dominated, he still had 2 minutes of control time in it. But against Soriano, he had 3 takedowns, a minute 59 seconds of control time, and then he got the sub in round 2. Against Minus, he had 3 rounds of decision. He had 10 minutes of control time, 5 takedowns. Against Close, he lost by decision, but he had over 113 total strikes, 3 minutes of control time, and 2 takedowns. And against Hashovich, he had 6 takedowns, 67 strikes, and 5 minutes of control time. This guy is a pure wrestler. He comes in there, he's trying to take you down several times. He has the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. And he's going up against a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist in Thiago Moises, who's more of a defensive fighter, who tries to do just enough strikes just to steal the card. He'll look for submissions. He'll look to play defense. He's a little passive, but he has the skills to submit you or decision you if he can get you to the mat. But I see Chistos Giagos being very successful with his wrestling. I see his fight going to decision, but I still see Giagos getting 3 to 4 takedowns in this matchup and getting a decision victory with like 50 significant strikes. And with the price tag of 7,200, you have leeway with what you can do at the spot. And with me knowing that he's a wrestler, I like the odds here of using him. So with the person in the first spot, I'm going with Chistos Giagos, aka the Spartan, at 7,200. Moving on to the next person, we got, of course, my wildcard Shaylin Nordin-Biecki, aka the Wolverine. He's 7,300. He's going up against TJ Brown. He's 37-10 with a 64 FPPF. If you look right there in his 2 UFC fights, they went to decision in both fights. Against Joshua Kulabau, he had 23 strikes, 6 minutes of control time, 2 takedowns. He just didn't do enough volume in that fight. He got the two takedowns in the control time, but like I said, he just didn't do the volume that was able to do enough to solidify a victory for him, whereas Kulabau was able to do striking and a little bit of control time on his side. But then you go to his last one where he was a lot better and a lot more active. He only had 17 significant strikes on the feet, but he had 4 takedowns, 2 reversals, 7 minutes and 30 seconds of control time, and then he had over 100 ground and pound strikes. He was active on the ground. It wasn't just laying and keeping the position. He was laying there and throwing ground and pound shots at Soriano, racking him up volume, making sure that the judges seeing that he's active so he doesn't lose the fight. I could see it going this way as well. Like TJ Brown has a wrestling background. He might be better on the feet with the striking, but I still feel like Nordin-Biecki is the guy who's more successful on the ground. I feel like he also has the chances to submit a TJ Brown. He has over 6 to 8 submissions in the past 5 or 6 years because he did a lot of fights over in Asia where he fought like 5 or 6 times a year, so he was able to rack up a lot of submissions there. And I feel like that's a path to victory for him. But if he doesn't, I think he could win by decision and get 3 takedowns and have over 6 or 7 minutes of control time. I just feel like he has the better wrestling and grappling and jiu-jitsu over TJ Brown, but then TJ Brown has the better striking and is more aggressive. So it's going to be a good fight, but I got Nordin winning it by decision. I got him doing a good about a bit with the grappling, ground and pound, and the striking. And with that, I think he's a guy that you need to use in DraftKings this week. Moving on to my next person, I'm going with Carlos Urberg at the Blackjack. He's $8,300 salary. Like I said before, he's going up against Tapin and Chukwi. He's 6-1, 64.1 FPPF. If you look at his debut where he lost to Kennedy and Chukwu, he got knocked down round 2, but in round 1, he racked up over 100 significant strikes, and then he just did too much volume and put out too much power, and he tired himself out, and then he got knocked out in that one. So it was an imperative to see what he could do and how he can improve on that to get a victory in his next fight. He comes out against Fabio Charant. He gets half of the strikes. He gets 66 significant strikes, but then he gets 2 takedowns and a minute of control time. He looked more patient. He relied a lot on his leg kicks, which is his bread and butter. Of course, he trains at a city kickboxing, so they use a lot of leg kicks, a lot of movement, kickboxing style. But I love how he mixed in the takedowns there. And against a guy like Tapin and Chukwi, you're going to have to clinch up with him, and you're going to have to take him down to keep him from being aggressive, moving you backwards, and just throwing those big time shots. And I think he's going to come in there, and with both these guys have suspect chins, but I think Tapin has been knocked out several times, whereas Alberg this one time was just an issue, in my opinion. I got Carlos Urban knocking out Tapin and Chukwu in round 2. I think he's going to get a lot of volume in round 1. Not as much as, of course, the first fight that he had against Nchekwu Kennedy, but it will be up there. I think it'll be up between 40 50 strikes. He might even have a takedown and a minute or 2 of control time within that 2-round space. And then I think he lands a knockout shot. It could be with an elbow, or it could just be a regular overhand shot. But I got him knocking out Tapin and Chukwi in the second round. And with that, he should score close to 100 points on DraftKings this week. So my third fighter is Carlos Urberg with a price tag of $8,300. Moving on to the first person in my lineup, we got the hot guy right now on a 3-fight win streak. We got the action man, Chris Curtis. He comes in with an $8,600 salary. He's fighting Rodolfo Vieira. He's 28-8 with a 107.5 FPPF. He has a 3-fight win streak, but only 2 in the UFC. In the first fight, he started out very slow against Hawes. Hawes was piecing him up, but then Hawes made a mistake, and Chris Curtis came in, landed 20-plus strikes, and then knocked him out in the first round. And, of course, that was very optimal that week. Then he comes into his second fight against Brendan Allen, another fight that he was an underdog in, and he comes in there, gets over 61 significant strikes, 1 minute 43 seconds of control time, and he gets the knockout there in round 2. Now he's going up against a high-level grappler, jiu-jitsu artisan Rodolfo Vieira, who puts a lot of energy into round 1, or he did up until last fight. He puts a lot of energy into taking you down and going for the submission. He puts, like I said, he does everything to try and just overpower you, get you to the mat, and submit you. That's why he is the black belt hunter in this division, because of his jiu-jitsu prowess and One thing to monitor though is the fact that Chris Curtis, he's not that great with his grappling, but he has high level boxing, and I feel like he can withstand withstand the storm of the air in round one, get into round two, and then that's where he'll take over with his boxing. I could even see him knocking out the air in round one. I might even go with that into Tapology, but for right now, I'm predicting that he gets the knockout round two. He waits until Vieira kind of tires himself a little bit. Then he starts throwing those uppercuts, jabs, and those overhands, and he knocks him out. Because once he gets tired, it's hard for him to move and then to defend those shots. So I think he's going to be optimal again with over 100 points with that second round knockout. So I'm going with Chris Curtis, A600. My fifth person is one half of the main event. We got Armand Sarukin at $9,100 salary. Of course, he's fighting Matu Scamrot. He's 18-2, 90.6 FPPF. This guy is a grappling machine. And in the past two fights, after going 3 decisions in a row, he has had 2 knockouts in round 1 against Giagos and then round 2 against Joel Alvarez in a very impressive showing where he put 90 strikes and 2 takedowns against Alvarez, and then he only went 1 round against Giagos where he had 22 and 1 knockdown. And he has a 3 fight streak of going over 110 points, 126, 110, and then 117. And I think he continues that going into this fight against Gamrot. The big thing here, like I said before, is this guy can go to decision with Gamrot and still score 100 points because there's a 5-round main event fight. So he could get 3, 4, 5 takedowns because I think these guys are going to go at it with their grappling. I think Gamrot is more the submission artist, whereas Sarukian does a lot of takedowns, and then he looks to go to ground and pound or control his opponent on the mat. Whereas, just like I said before, Gamrot looks to take you down and then look for a submission lock, like a Kimura, take you back for a rear naked choke, or he looks for the guillotine, armbar. He looks for all of that. So it's two grapplers that go for 2 different styles on the mat. And I feel like Sarukian's going to have the advantage here because I feel like he is a stronger guy. He's fought the better competition. I think that first fight when he joined against, of course, in the UFC, Islam Makhachev, he learned a lot from that, and he's improved each time after that because he wants that rematch against Makhachev to prove that he can beat him. And I think he's going to come in here. I think this fight goes to decision because these guys are both high-level grapplers. I think he gets anywhere from 3 to 4 takedowns. I think he gets 7 to 8 minutes of control time. He puts a little bit of ground and pound in here. And at the end of the day, I think he scores over 100 points. And I think it's going to be like a combination of this right here. I guess for Vola, where 8 minutes, 103 strikes, he gets the win. And it's going to be 3 or 4 takedowns here. And then if he's lucky, maybe he gets a knockdown. So I think when you get a lot of that, I think he's going to wind up getting maybe 100, 105 points because he's not going to get 20 because, of course, each takedown I think is 5 or 10 points. You're only getting half of that at least, but you're going to still get the strikes in the ground and pound and then the control time. He maybe even get more control time. He may get close to 10 because I feel like he can, and I feel like Gamrot at times might be okay searching for submissions off of his back. But I am definitely going with Armand Sarukian. I think it gets at least 100 plus points. I think it's going to be 100 to 105. He's one half the main event. So once again, I'm going with him at the tag of 9,100. My last fighter in my lineup is the Nurmagomedov cousin, Umar Nurmagomedov. He's going up against Nate Menez. Nate Menez is a fighter who is very tough. He's Canadian. He's undefeated in the UFC. He looks to stand and bang with you, but then he can also grapple as well. But he's going up against a machine in Umar. This guy is a grappling machine. He has the craziest leg kicks. He throws a front leg kick. He throws the question mark kick where it's like a front kick, but he spins it into a circle. He throws the side kick. He throws the calf kick. He throws a lot of leg kicks, and all he needs to do is work on his striking to be more complete. But against Nate Menez, if you look right there, he's gone to round 2 against Morozov, dominated that with 5 takedowns, 4 minutes of control time, and 32 strikes. He did a lot of control with that. And then against Callher round 1, he had 21 strikes. A lot of those were leg kicks. He got into the clinch and got into position, so took him down, and then subbed him with the rear naked choke. I think he goes into here and he throws those leg kicks. It makes Menez move to the back towards the cage. Does the same thing. I think it gets a round 1 sub here easily, and also by rear naked choke. And because he's doing that, I think he's going to get around the same 15 to 20 strikes, mostly leg kicks. I think he gets the takedown, maybe 2. It depends on how long into the first that this fight goes. And then he gets the sub. And with that, he gets the extra points. Of course, he gets the sub and plus the win in the first round. So that's 90 points there. He gets the takedown or 2, and then the strikes. It's going to get anywhere to me from 110 to 120 points, depending on how fast he can get it done. But this guy is a beast. I think he is a must-use in DraftKings this week. And, of course, he is the highest salaried guy of UFC Vegas 58. So, once again, I'm going with Umar Nurmagomedov, 9,500 salary. And he's undefeated at 14-0. Once again, here's my lineup. I got Chistos Giagos. I got Shaylon Norden Biecki. I got Carlos Arberg. I got Chris Curtis. I got Armand Sarukin. And I got Umar Nurmagomedov. That'll wrap things up with my DFS by Cage episode 33 edition, where I just did my lineup for UFC Vegas 58. I will be back next week to give you guys episode 34 of DFS by Cage. I'll be breaking down my lineup for one of the hottest pay-per-views of the summer. We got UFC Vegas 276 live from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. We got 2 title fights on this card. Israel Adesanya, of course, going up against Jared Cannonier. And then we got the trilogy, Max Holloway going up against Alexander Volkanovski. And then we even have Alex Ferreira going up against Sean Strickland. So tune in next week for episode 34 and tune in to the YouTube channel for Cage by IQ for all the content that we put out for UFC, Bellator, PFL, and of course the interviews that I do and these DFS videos. But other than that, make sure you leave a comment to the right and let me know what you think of the video and let me know your opinions for DraftKings this week. And then of course, if you can, drop a dono to the Cash App $DanielBakley, as you see right there. And then, of course, smash the like button down below and make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel for Cage My IQ. But other than that, I will see you guys next week and tune in for all the content that you want for all the MMA that we get, because there's so much to watch and so much to look at. I'm your guy to go to for MMA betting and prediction advice. So I will see you guys next week on Cage My IQ. Thanks for tuning in.